Welcome back to the channel. My name is Thomas Fletcher and I'm the host of both the Military Social Work Network and the LCSW Network. If you're new to both these channels, please do me a favor by smashing that like button, by subscribing to the channel, and by sharing this video with your social work colleagues and friends. The purpose of these channels is to create a community of hope and support where social workers and military social workers can come for relevant news, information, and inspiration. Well, welcome back to Ask a Military Social Worker. So in the last couple of days, I got two different questions by two different people that are of the same nature. So I decided to answer both of the questions within this one video. So one viewer, her name is Cheryl, asked, does my age have a deciding factor in taking the route of becoming a military social worker by uniform? And KI110 Asita asked, sir, can a 42-year-old social worker still apply to serve in the military or the VA? Can you please throw light on age limit for these opportunities? So I want to thank both Cheryl and KI110 Asita for asking these great questions about age and serving as a military social worker. So I want to first point out that if you really want to serve as a military social worker, the broadest way to do that is to either work as a civilian social worker in the Department of Veterans Affairs. The other route, other than wearing the uniform, is to become a civilian social worker for the Department of Defense. I think a lot of people may not be aware that the Department of Defense hires probably more civilian social workers than they hire uniform social workers. I don't have the numbers to back that up, but you can go on USA Jobs, and matter of fact, I just did that this morning before I went on video. So if you go on usajobs.gov, and just a quick disclaimer that this video, I'm not being compensated, promoted, endorsed by the Department of Defense, by Department of Veterans Affairs, by the National Guard Bureau. The views and opinions stated in this video are mine alone. So that's I would say, and I said this in another video, I think that's the path of least resistance for most people who want to serve as military social workers, is to become a civilian social worker either for the Department of Defense or Department of Veterans Affairs, okay? But if you really have your heart set on serving as a uniformed military social worker, here's some things that you have to keep in mind. And I would say the advantage goes to our younger social work colleagues. If you are in your early 20s to early 30s, that's the best time to, I would say early 20s is probably after you finish your MSW program, that's the best time to apply for an active duty social work position, whether it's in the Army, the Navy, or the Air Force, right? But there are opportunities for social workers in their 40s. You can use me as a great personal anecdote of somebody who applied to become a uniformed military social worker after he turned 40. At the time, I did not require an age waiver. I was still under the age limit of 42. I believe that's still the case in the Army. I believe, and the little bit of research that I've done online leads me to believe that the Army Reserves and the Army National Guard are the only places where social workers over the age of 42 can apply for an age waiver. I don't believe that the other branches provide age waivers for social workers. So that's why I said You know, if you're a younger social worker, do that active duty time. You know, get that active duty time in the Navy, in the Air Force, in the Army. You know, get a taste of those 3 years or 6 years. You know, and then you can decide if you want to make it a career or not. And I've said this in other videos. I said this in another video. You could start in active duty as a younger social worker, do your 3 years, maybe do 6 years, and then you decide that you're tired of moving around the country and around the world and you want to settle down and have a family. You could do that by transitioning from active duty to reserve, whether you're going from Navy to Navy Reserve, Army to Army Reserve, or Army to Army National Guard, Air Force to either Air Force Reserve or Air National Guard, okay? But again, for my older social work colleagues, there is still hope. You can apply for an age waiver either with the Army Reserve or the Army National Guard if you are over the age of 42. So Cheryl, again, to answer your question directly, age is definitely a deciding factor. The younger you are, the easier it will be for you to enter active duty. The older you are, the harder it is to get those active duty positions. But there still is hope in terms of you getting an age waiver. If you're over the age of 42, you can get an age waiver and either join the Army Reserve or the Army National Guard. And KI-110 ACETA, yes, as a 42-year-old social worker, you can still apply to either the military or the VA. And here's the cool thing about VA social work positions and civilian DoD social work positions. There's no age limit. There's no age limit. I remember when I first started at the West Los Angeles VA a couple of years ago, there was a social worker still working in her 80s. Still working in her 80s. So there's no age limit on the civilian side. So that's the positive message here for all of you. So Cheryl and KI-110 ACETA, I hope I answered your questions. Thank you for sending your questions. And for the rest of you, please send your questions to me. I love getting your comments. I love getting your questions. So keep the questions, keep the comments coming. I want to thank you all for watching this video. To all the social workers out there, thank you for the work that you do every day for your clients, for your agency, and for the profession. Please continue to support each other and yourselves. Bye for now.